Some people will do anything to hold on to a babysitting job these days. Even murder! The Night of the Harvest was written and directed by Ryan Calloway, who did Stay Out of the Basement. More on that movie in a bit. This takes place in the immediate aftermath of that particular movie, though, where there is a lady in a weird mask in white killing people. Why? We find out, and there's some friends and some returning characters from Stay Out of the Basement, and yeah, we just get more spoopy, stabby, stalking around, and oh my god, how could this person be doing this? Let me go out in the various dark, scenes that occur in this movie. This movie's so dark. So dark. Did they not even want to bother trying to correct this thing? I know that you can't actually make something day for night without making it look really bad, regardless of what your budgetary constraints are, but Jesus Christ. Put a goddamn flashlight on your camera. Do something. So yeah, Stay Out of the Basement. If you're unfamiliar with that, check out my review of it. Basically, the production for this movie got delayed due to droughts, apparently, I guess. What droughts? I don't really have any goddamn idea. That being said, droughts are bullshit. It is terrible that people had to fight for just regular drinking water and standard drinking water and whatever it is. As long as it's potable and you can drink it too, good to know, Ken, then there you are. So, that being said, they decided to do a prequel, Stay Out of the Basement, to basically explain the relationship between Mackenzie, Ariella Mozzie, and we also have Peyton, Emma Pearson. They return, they're about the only ones, really, that are the same standard characters. There are others that are played by different people, I guess, because apparently in the interim, after the first one, the others said, nah, we'll go do something else. We'll be over here, so let's just cast other people in the roles. No, it's actually kind of funny. And this tries to flesh out the story from Stay Out of the Basement that had maybe about that much of a story for a 71-minute runtime. But don't worry, in a sequel, you can flesh things out, and you can make it, check notes, 125 minutes long. Are you fucking goddamn kidding me? What the actual Jiminy fuck were you thinking? This movie barely had enough material for 80. Actually, scratch that. Both movies, Human Centipede together, barely had enough material for 80 goddamn minutes. Scenes that went on way too goddamn long. Some of the worst fight scenes that I've seen in quite a while. And I know that independent horror movies, low budget, whatever, putting your vision out there, it's difficult to get it made. And I feel bad for people that have the passion and the energy to make films and they want to succeed. But this was bad. This was really bad. And the punishing length of this to basically tell a story that really didn't have all that much meat to it. Had a little bit of a scrap of meat on maybe the very tail end, which is pretty much where this movie deserved to be. It deserved to be on the tail end or shoved up the tail end of something. This was really, really bad. Really, really bad. And I'm sorry. I know the people probably tried their goddamn best. Bless them. I wish them nothing but success in whatever they do, but this was terrible. It's on Tubi if you want to check it out. But yeah, 125 goddamn minutes. For what? For who? There was no deep narrative. By the time they got to any twist, the twists were basically just thrown there. We're like, well, shit, we need to extend the runtime. You don't, actually. You could have just trimmed things off, and you also could have just not tried to make it so dramatic, because really, besides the relationship between Mackenzie and Peyton, which I admit between the two movies is about the only thing that it got right, and also the aforementioned opening of Stay Out of the Basement. I talked about that in my review of that. This is just really, really terrible. Really, really bad. One of the just blandest, most generic horror movies that I've seen. And even if there was a halfway decent idea strung throughout this, Jesus Christ. I mean, Jesus, tap dancing Christ. No, good characters in this. Any semblance of any horror is completely lost. The nighttime scenes are just so goddamn dark you can't see what's going on. This thing could have had 40 minutes trimmed off of it and we wouldn't have missed shit. Yeah, that's pretty much it right there. It's on Tubi if you want to check it out. Tubi's an ad-based streaming service where you can find movies like this and others. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm being mean and I'm trying to be a little bit nicer, but when a movie is this bad, I just can't help it. I just can't help it. This, by no means, is the worst thing I've seen this year. It just really is, whatever, it's fun. So, yeah, we see, and by the way, I do want to mention also, as I'm getting into this, that I actually didn't know this was a sequel to something until I checked the IMDb page. And I was like, okay, weird stuff going on. There's Mackenzie going on a bike ride. There's a weird lady in a cornfield. Okay, with you so far. And then she's talking to Liz, who's the mother of Peyton, and weird things are going on. And suddenly, Mackenzie is taken out, her family is taken out, her parents are taken out in absolutely hilarious ways. The dad is killed in, my God, he's killed in a hilarious way. So, there was a demon that was hunting for Peyton, basically. This is the demon. The demon has a knife, ends up, I believe, stabbing the mother at one point. And then drops the knife because the mother has a broom. And then she disconnects the broom and shoves it in her mouth. That scene played out for about 2.5 minutes. The stuff with the dad and the stuff with this. And just, again, you could cut that down. You could cut a lot of shit down on this. Whew, the credits are 12 minutes in. Actually, this movie probably should have been about 12 goddamn minutes. Because at least then it would have been over quicker. I don't know what to say is what I wrote down. But I didn't actually know that this was a sequel. So what I did is I actually stopped tape, as the kids used to say, and once I found out about Stay Out of the Basement, I'm like, okay, let me see if anything's really explained. Not really. I mean, you get a few crumbs. You see the building of the relationship between, you know, babysitter and babysittee, which, fine, whatever. At least you have something threading through the movie. But then they explain that whoever this particular lady in white is, there's a Hindu goddess that wants a blood harvest. And we find out that Liz, by the way, who's played by a completely different woman in the first one, and is now played in a different way. I'm not knocking. I mean, if they couldn't come to an agreement or didn't want to do the role again, okay. But yeah, Liz is played by a completely different woman, but in the first one, she basically ends up possessed. And that's pretty much it right there, and that's your lot. The reason that this lady in white is out there and basically is doing all this stuff is she pretends to be hit by somebody in a car, and then she makes them do things for her. Like, as a way to pay her back for not hitting her, I guess? Every scene is twice as long as it needs to be, or at least 40% of the goddamn scenes. There is characters Stephanie and Nikki. We have captions like retro and somber pop. Those are captions. Okay, whatever. You know, it's fine, but really, you couldn't even afford to, like, just say, hey, this is a song? Or did nobody know? Or did nobody care? So, Mackenzie's missing. We don't know where the hell Mackenzie is. Cammy, who was her friend, played by a completely different person in the first one, by the way, I believe, according to the casting. She's, whatever. She's back, I guess, doing some... You know, she could have actually been the same damn person because she just had, you know, her hair darkened. But it doesn't really matter because none of these characters are distinct. It was just noticeable after watching Stay Out of the Basement. So, yeah, due to droughts, this whole thing was basically done. And I'm not really sure why. I mean, I'm not even knocking, but whatever. There's two people going geocaching, sachet. They're just doing stuff. They're looking around. One of the girls steps on a nail. I guess there's just a board with a nail in it. And then there's going to be a bigger board with bigger nails. And then there's going to be a board with nails so big in the ground, they're going to destroy us all. So, the lady attacks them. In hilarious ways, by the way. Some of the worst coordinated fight scenes I've seen. Just terrible. I'm sorry. But just laugh-inducing, I'll say that much. I'm glad nobody got hurt, but seriously, like, what the fuck? There's a character named Aubrey, who is... I guess she has issues with this character, Nikki, because Nikki said in a group chat that she was not attractive. And then something about Nikki's boyfriend... finding out about and liking Aubrey and whatever. These are throwaway lines. So, yeah, there's a wire in the woods. I think a copy of The Wire in the woods would have actually been funnier. And I've seen a little bit of The Wire, didn't care for it. So, yeah, after stepping on the nail, they end up at this house of evil. Nothing of note occurs. I just scribbled down stuff on the note. Mackenzie's in the house. So is Peyton, because Liz is the killer. Aubrey gets choked out by this ghost, and what is this? What are these fights? What is this? Pulling a Roddy Piper sleeper right there. Roddy Piper now could do a bear sleeper, and unfortunately he has not been on this earth for about 9 goddamn years. So yeah, it's Liz doing the killing. Liz basically is trying to keep the demon at bay until the Harvest Moon is done. I thought Harvest Moon actually was done a while ago, even though they've had plenty of video games in the franchise, har har. But we, oh no, Tom Nook is here. He's going to basically make people, pay back a bunch of debts they can't possibly pay. Fuck that goddamn character. Little Raccoon, I think that's what he was. Let's get back to this. Mackenzie's there, Peyton's there, and basically Liz, when Liz is coherent and not possessed by this evil Eden, Eden's just the name of this or whatever, not Akuna Matata or Akuna Kuwari, whatever. No, Anna Kuwara. I don't care. I don't mean to be culturally insensitive, but I don't care. So, yeah, this is a wash. This movie's a complete wash because basically we are about 45 to 50 minutes in at this point, thereabouts, and all the stuff I've described is not nearly as interesting as how I'm describing it. And I'm not really putting a lot of effort in because this movie doesn't deserve a lot of effort. It deserves a lot of snark. It deserves a lot of ridicule because it's bad. It's really bad again. I don't wish any ill upon any of the people involved, but what the fuck? So, this ghost is demanding this blood harvest. Okay. Logan goes to rescue Aubrey because Nikki had one nail in her foot, is able to move around the house pretty freely, but no, you can't run. You have to stay here because plot convenience. And then Aubrey's being strung up in the woods. A sudden nightfall. It goes from like 1 p.m. to nightfall really quickly. Or maybe even 3 p.m. The whole point is this night hits quickly. It's night in the Harvest Dreams. Logan whizzes it and gets killed, but Aubrey manages to get away somehow. And then there's missing reports about Mackenzie and Peyton and Mackenzie's family, and those are the clippings we get. Even if you hadn't seen Stay Out of the Basement, none of this movie really would have added up, in all honesty. But, yeah, Nikki gets killed hilariously. Just absolutely hilariously. Or maybe it's Stephanie. I think it might actually be Stephanie now that I think about it, because there were various characters. There were also a couple girls, Alexa and Cammie, that did a dance routine thing because they were left in their car while everybody went doing the geocaching thing. What is this and why is this and why were there so many throwaway characters? Why was this not shortened by 40 goddamn minutes? What the fuck? So dark you can't see shit. I mean, there were people getting killed hilariously. There's a lantern. Great. Bray Wyatt's here. And Aubrey and Nikki basically break down their emotional walls because they kind of make apologies to each other. I guess. Whatever. I don't care. I don't care. Mackenzie is at times chained in the goddamn basement. Much like that delivery driver was from the previous movie. There's more psalm reading. The cop shows up. This one cop that it turns out, by the way, he basically confesses everything to Cammie. It's Cammie. I don't really care. And while superhuman Eden is just taking people out, Aubrey manages to escape despite getting gutted or stabbed or a little prick like, oop, we're going to poke and get the blood out of you. And then we just keep seeing the stuff between Mackenzie and Peyton. And essentially we just end up, you really can only focus on them because they're about the only characters that really matter. But Aubrey apparently can survive just about anything thrown at her. So, yes, the cop basically says, you know, when we didn't shut down that road, everything was fine. It rained, and it was raining quite a bit. At least you heard the rain. Here comes the rain again, and I need to wash this movie away from our memories. But you close the road, and a drought happened. Why? Because you couldn't get the blood harvest. What is this? Just, what the fuck is this? So Aubrey's alive somehow, despite the fact it seemed like that she got killed a couple times. Alexa and Cammy basically battle the cop. Aubrey shows up and they all beat the shit out of the cop, which kind of hilariously. And then, basically after Nikki got killed, very hilariously, by the way, because she got killed right after telling Aubrey, leave, I'll be fine. Then she gets gutted right at the bottom of the stairs. And then Aubrey had actually pushed a door or a piece of drywall or something on Eden, and she got stopped by drywall. Again, what the fuck? Alright, so let's just finish this up. So very dark. So very dark is what I noted. Mackenzie ends up eventually killing Liz, because Liz can no longer be contained. There is no Liz, there is only Zool. And then that's about it right there. That's your lot. She basically stabs her again. This does not look like stabbing. And Peyton wasn't going to leave her, and now they're together, and then Aubrey's here, and all these characters are together, and apparently these characters all know each other. Whatever, it's fine. It's fine. Fine. 174th movie that I've watched released this year. I'm going for 300, and man, I am just... This is not even bottom of the barrel, and I'm just... God damn it. Oh, Jesus. I wish nothing but the best for everybody involved, but fuck. This is terrible. Terrible. But at least Mackenzie gets to keep her babysitting job, so bonus? Agree, disagree, what I said. F, by the way, F, just in case you couldn't fucking figure it out. Agree, disagree, what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.